Hello, it's been a minute. I'm glad you're here. I just realized I misspelt the title. It's supposed to be Monday morning in the Ortho Lab, not Moday, but let's just go with it. It's now Moday in the morning. So, good Moday to everybody out there. But like I said, it's been a minute since I've done a live stream, and here I am on a Monday morning doing a live stream instead of Sunday afternoon. Lots of stuff going on last week. Many of you may know it's kind of been crazy. And then the Cowboys won. I'm just as surprised as y'all that the Cowboys won. So I was like, I don't think I can live stream. I'm not in the right state of mind. So I was going to just do it today and leave it at that and try it today. So this is my Monday. I have my stack of pans to work on. There's many more sitting over there. I've got to work on those. But I thought, hey, I'd just bring everybody along with me as I work, make some orthodontic basic retainers, and we'll see how it goes. Looks like we have some, dental things. So random. It off were no notification. Yes, I did. Bring volume. Yep, bring the music down a bit. I agree. Let me do that real quick. I have it muted on the back end, so it got a little loud. And then, no notification. I just decided to go live and just went with it. And so, let's see, I'm filling up my separator here. My wife and two of my kids are off to a doctor's appointment, so my goal this morning is to try to get as many of these done as possible so they're ready for her when she gets back. She does not like waiting around for me. Oh, Perry, yes, good morning. How are you? Glad you're here. I know it's weird. It's a weird Monday morning. I might actually capture some people that can't catch the Sunday afternoon one. Let's see here. Okay, I got some models here. I'm gonna prep these. This is actually going to be an Upper Essex and a Lower Hawley. Let me get all these little printing things off. And then I'm gonna prep these, but I already got two that are prepped over here in my little drying area here. I actually prepped them Friday. I just didn't finish them Friday, so that's where we're at now. So let's get here we go. My wax here. I'm going to block out this bonded retainer. You have to block out the wax with wax underneath that wire so that the acrylic I put on here doesn't grab a hold of that and pull it out. So I like to just put a nice coat of wax there. And also this little divot right here. I don't know if you can see it. I might have to brighten up my channel a little bit. Let's see. Boop. Boop. Okay. And then I'm just going to wax these undercuts here. I don't know what that freckle crumb. I think it's sticky wax that was on here, so that acrylic doesn't lock in under there. And then the front, now this is an auto bracket removal, so you can see it does a pretty good job. This is EasyRx doing the auto bracket removal. I think I do want to grind on it a little bit. No, maybe not. It's pretty close. This one's going to be an Essex, so I'm probably going to grind hand piece on it a little bit, because you can see when it gets over to the posterior teeth, it has a hook and that goes over the gums, and it doesn't know the AI doesn't know what to do with that. So let me put a coat of separator on here. I usually do about 2 coats. Now I've noticed I do get some models from one of my doctors. They print them in-house and mail them to me. So I receive models from them, just like stone models in the past, but they're 3D printed models. But it's a different 3D printer, and that resin is actually, I got an example of what it looks like. I think it looks like this. A little harder to see with my eyes, but it usually takes like three coats of separator, because it tends to stick to that one pretty easily. So this has a little bonded between the ones, and oh, look at that. You see that hole there? Let me get my round burr going. So I'm gonna put a round burr on here. Why is this stuck? And I'm gonna accentuate these. Where's my pedal? And I just kind of let the burr find that gum line. And I tend to flatten the buckle of these a little bit. But as you can see, the band, it doesn't remove the inside band. So what this doctor likes to do is send me the scans with the brackets in place, and just wants me to remove the brackets and make the retainers. That way, when they come in to get their braces off, they have the retainers are ready to go. I have a few doctors that do that. But they know, you know, it may not fit as accurately as if they would have, you know, taken the braces off, let the gums heal up. As you all know, if you've worked in this industry, you get some puffy gums coming out of here. Do I have a... Yeah, here we go. You get some puffy gums, and these Essex don't fit very well. Okay, I'm just going to use the compressed air. But you can see my thing here. That's from my 3D printer, that hole right there. I guess there was something on the build plate and it couldn't. So it's actually hollow all the way through. So I'm just gonna fill that in with some sticky wax, and that usually does the trick. I'm gonna let that cool and shrink up, and then add another layer. Probably need to overbuild just a little bit. Oh, there's another one there too. Looks like I need to clean my build plate. So like I said, we're just going to try to do as many of these as I can. I do have my BioStar heated up, my old school BioStar, and we'll do a suck down on this to show how we do the clear retainers. Some people call them Essex. All right, so we got the first coat of separator on, and I put it up here on my little fan. Oh, I'm actually thirsty. To dry. Let's see, where were we? Nope. Push the right button, Kate. Oh, we got some. Do you know the EasyRx I used to be very frugal now? I use it almost. You know, the EasyRx I used to be very frugal. Now I use it almost everything. If you're like me, yeah, I used to think all these subscriptions you have to do now as an ortho lab owner, EasyRx monthly subscription, and then the bracket removal monthly subscription, plus you get charged $1 something for every bracket removal, every arch. So yeah, I use it. When it helps you out, it helps you out. And I assume that's what you're saying, is the EasyRx, it used to be very frugal, but now I use EasyRx for everything. And I'm paying $300 or $400 a month on EasyRx. But it's become the hub of my my lab. Doctors fill prescriptions on their end. Let me block some info. and then I print the prescription. So they digitally made these, and then they attach a scan, and then I take the scans and I do base them myself. That EasyRx does have auto basing, which will put the hollow base on there, because you got to base them before you print them, and EasyRx can auto base too. But since my son is working for me, I think it's a little, I need to do the numbers on this, but I think it's a little cheaper to pay him $10 an hour to base them. And he can do, in an hour, he could probably do 20. Let's see, 4 sets of 6, whatever, 24. It's crazy how many he can get done. And I got 2 monitors going, and you get one going, you press, base, and it spins and goes. And then you start on the other one, you press base, and by the time that one's done, you go to the other one. So having 2 screens helps out a lot with that. Okay, so let's get to wire bending. This one is a special lower. I did have to wax a lot because they didn't give me much of a scan of the lower. So it's gonna hang over. Ooh, I need to wax that. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Let's see if I get a pointer in here. You almost see this line. Actually, I did wax it, so it is waxed. But I waxed right along here because they didn't give me enough of a scan. And it's usually good to call them and say, hey, can I get more of a scan? But I didn't catch it in time. And of course, my son, he sometimes doesn't know to look for that. He catches a lot of things and brings it to my attention. But yeah, this is almost vertical, and I bet you it doesn't go that vertical. So when I bend the wire, I got to keep it away from the tissue so that if the doctor does need to grind on the inside, she can, has some room to grind the acrylic if it's not right. So I'm going to use some 028 wire. I have my drawer here, and I have, no, you can't see it very well, but I have my little tray here of wires. So I'm just going to pull out some 028. $17+ an hour for my son, California minimum wage. Even your children, you have to, even when it's family, I feel like you could almost have them work for free. Well, I don't know if how old he is. Mine's 19, so I start paying him when he was like 16 or 17. Just start getting used to all those taxes getting taken out. But yeah, California minimum wage, 17. Well, and our son lives at home. If he moved out, got his own place, I'd have to pay him a lot more. But since we're paying him room and board, maybe he actually does get paid $17 an hour with room and board included in that. I didn't realize it was 17 minimum wage. I know, wasn't it the fast food joints? There were 20 in California. 20 was the minimum wage for fast food. Or maybe it was government workers. I think it's still minimum wage here in Texas is still $7.86 an hour. I think I looked that up the other day. But you're not going to get anybody working for you for that. So that is usually that's what 16-year-olds get started on, is that minimum wage. So what I'm bending now is called a continuous rest, and the rest on the molars. and prevent the lower retainer. Yeah, you see there's no palate, there's nothing here. I mean, the tongue's here, but if you didn't have those rests, these retainers have a tendency to get pushed down too far. Let's see, where are my cutters? There we go. So let's cut this. And then I'm going to wax it down. So you see I'm having to keep the wire up higher than I usually would because of that ridge there from not having enough of the scan. You know, scans were supposed to solve a lot of stuff, but it did. It solved a lot of stuff, but it caused a lot of stuff too. So it had its own problems. Oh, dental thing. Yeah, you're in California too. 21, I believe, for... So, I mean, that's hard when you're a struggling lab owner. I mean, can you... That's exactly where I would start an experienced wire bender to work for me, is at least at 20. And then depending how fast he or she is and how good they are, I'd go up from there. Because that would be very valuable to me. Gusto Payroll's best payroll service I've ever had. Everything's done on your phone in 2 minutes. I use Gusto, but I don't ever do it from my phone. I didn't even realize you could do it from your phone. So yeah, I use Gusto to pay my son and my aunt. My aunt, she's a retired teacher. She does my deliveries every Tuesday, Thursday, and then she comes and cleans and organizes the lab, keeps us all organized. And then she'll trim our Essex too. Oh, ooh. Brazil. You're from Brazil. Carlos from Brazil. Boa tarde. Oh, okay. That is, I thought it was Spanish. That's Portuguese, isn't it? It looks like Buenas tardes, good day or good afternoon. I think we're in the same, pretty close to the same time zone, aren't we? It's 10 a.m. here. I don't know if y'all are, how many time zones Brazil has. But, so this is a little bit of a weird mushroom spring that we add. And I'm gonna look to see if I have a finished one of these retainers. And I've done these before on my live stream, and I only make them for this one doctor. I almost want to call him Mallory Hawleys, because his name is Dr. Mallory, and he's come up with this. I don't know if he got it from somewhere or what, but I'm making these little... The closest thing I can explain is a mushroom spring. And this is like a retainer and a spring aligner in one appliance. So it acts like a retainer. But if they don't wear it for a little while, or the teeth start shifting, this thing has a little bit more spring to it, a little bit more flexibility to it, so that it will actually move some of these teeth back into alignment. So what I like to do is just lay this. So you got to bend that continuous rest first. So I like to lay this right on top of that wire. And where's my 3 prongs? And just try to get it all lined up. Let's get this more tucked in. Round that out a little bit more. There we go. That's a little long. Let me trim that to try to match the other. And it's not that important, but what I'm going to do is I'll answer some more questions in a second. Let me get this set. And it doesn't just lay here, and I don't use wax to hold it in place. I used to, but now I use this Fix-It powder from JBC and Company, and it's great for filling in bubbles and stuff. You don't need a pressure pot. It cures in about 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll put a couple drops of monomer, and then I'll just sprinkle just a little bit of. So it sticks to regular acrylic. So this will set up and hold that wire in place on the inside of the retainer. And what we're gonna do is, my wife, when she trims it, she's gonna make a vertical cut, kind of like you do in a Schwartz or an expander or something. A vertical cut, not cut through the 2 wires, and then cut down here, and do it on both sides. Cut right down the middle of the 3s, and those 2 wires are gonna help. They'll twist, and so this thing will twist back if the thing gets teeth get crooked. Good morning, Kay. Ortho Outlaw. Good morning, Kay. Great videos on the Denick wire bender. Happy to see that's working out. So yeah, that has been fun to work with. Guys, if go check out Ortho Outlaw's channel. He's got a great. There were 3 wire benders, and I've been telling y'all about this. There were 3 wire benders at the conference this past year, and he did like a head-to-head with all of them. So you got to see the AOS machine, the Pinza, and then the Denick Ortho. I think at the time, the Denick Ortho didn't work because his compressor went out, the little portable compressor. Because if you don't know, for the AOS and the Denick, you do need compressed air. For the Pinza, it's all electric, so they were fine. And AOS, they had a good compressor. And I think they even offered the compressor to Denick Ortho, so really nice there. But Ortho Outlaw has a great video on the conference. So if you want to see what our conference is like and you haven't been there to our conference, our next conference is April 11th, 10th and 11th of 2026. Registration is already open. You can go to here, orthodonticresource.com. You can go there and register today. And there's an early bird special of like $50 off your registration. And full refund if you can't make it. We get it. Full refund within 3 weeks of the conference. So go ahead. You can go to Ortho Resource if you want to come. But check out his channel. He's got a really good. Oh, somebody's trying to call me. Nope. He's got a really good overview of the conference. This highlight reel. And I need to put that on the website. I need to get your permission to put that on our website to kind of advertise the next year's conference. So anyway, oh, also check out Dental Things' website. He teaches all things dental assisting, and he's got a really great tooth numbering. So if you're training somebody, speaking of hiring somebody, if you're training somebody and they don't know anything about teeth, send them to his channel, and he's got a great video on training, tooth numbering and stuff like that. It's great. So, as you can see, this one's already hardened. I think I got just a little. It's hardened enough where I can go to the next stage, which is going to be my 030 labial bow. I'm gonna make my arch. I hear the ducks quacking at something. Oh, I forgot to set up a duck cam. Today would have been a good day. Go and fill up the kiddie pool full of fresh water and they will flock to it. So I'm just going to use my loop forming pliers. And I think that's right. Let me mark this. I'll bend it over the occlusion. Put my pliers on the inside of that mark, bend it over. And ready for the other loop. Put my mark there. You know, I think you could probably make this bend, this 90-degree bend. You could probably make it with the thing, but I don't know why I've never trained. I need to probably train myself to do that, be a little more better. You know, a little bit of time saver. Every second counts. I say that as I'm answering questions while I'm live streaming. It's been hard to do those timing. If you want to catch up on some old streams, you can go to my YouTube channel. If you're a Patreon member, you can get ad-free versions of the live stream, and it will. I do that Denick ortho wire bender. I make. I do time trials, see how fast, and just give you the what would I call it? The secret to it. So far, it takes as the same amount of time designing it on the computer, the wires, and bending the wires and adjusting the wires as it does bending it. But here's the big but, and it's my son is my secret weapon, or an employee that you have would be your secret weapon. Because if they've never bent wires in their life and they're a good wire bender, and they're good on computers, you know, my son is good at CAD CAM and things like that. And if you have one of those in your lab, it takes maybe 3 to 4 minutes to adjust. So you get the labial bow in almost in this state, and then it takes you 3 to 4 minutes just to adjust, where it would take 8 minutes to bend the whole thing. It'll save you half the time, is what I'm getting at it. So that's what's exciting, is when my son, like I mentioned before, when my son is doing the 3D printing, the basing and stuff, he can just open up the wire bending software and bend the wires at the same time, and then just put them, the model and the wires in the case pan, and I just grab the model, grab the 90% bent labial bow, and adjust it. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, there we go. I don't really like forcing that down, but I think it's going to do good. Okay, is that going to be, ooh, it is going to be sticking up. Look at that. That's going to come right out of the acrylic. So I'm going to take my little tiny 3 prongs here, bend that down. There we go. Let me go ahead and do this one too. I think doing that, yeah, I release the sticky wax. Okay, and so then for my, I like to do a little, like a dam for the labial acrylic. So the lowers all get labial acrylic. Again, it will aid in helping to adjust those, move those teeth back if they start getting crooked. These look crooked, but there's a chip in that tooth right there. There we go. All right, so let's do the up. Uh-oh, I don't even know which. Oh, let me look at the model. Okay, pan. Oh, it's upside down. Okay. 505? Nope. 500? Yes. There it is. I have put them in the wrong pans before and sprinkled them in the wrong color. And in the state of Texas, you got to put a name in the retainers. I've put the wrong name in the retainer. So that makes it fun. Okay, so we're moving to the upper. Again, we're going with the, let's see, what size is this wire? 030? Yep. Steve Zara from Zara Dental Lab, you've seen his YouTube channel and Instagram channel, possibly TikToks. He bends all his labial bows in 036. Just found that out. That's why but I was talking to him about it, and he, you know, if y'all didn't know, he plays guitar very well. I was like, I don't know if I could bend every single wire in 036 size. Seems, I do most of my metals in 036, like band and loops and space maintainers, like LLAs, lingual arches and things like that. And I don't know if I could imagine doing a 036 labial bow and everything. My fingertips would get real sore, and I was like, well, you play guitar, you got calluses built up. That's not fair. I guess if I bent enough of 036 wire, I would get enough calluses on my fingertips. But I did find out, I used to do 032 on labial bows. Let me know in the comments what y'all use. I think 032 is 0.8 millimeters. I don't know if y'all use gauge. I cannot remember the gauge of the wires used in for some reason, stupid reason in the US, we use inches. So 032 is 0.032 of an inch. Anyway, I used to use 032, and then I started working for an ortho lab, and I've actually interviewed him, the owner of that ortho lab, Jason Brown, and he used 030, and I remember thinking, oh, I don't think that's strong enough. But he explained to me, use high quality wire. It's almost as strong as a low quality 032. So I was like, well, that makes sense. And it's a little bit easier on the fingers to bend. And then I've seen people, they use 028 for their labial bows. Which, that seems way... Now, I will use it for, like, spring aligners and stuff. I'll use 028. It'll just gives you that much more flexibility in the appliance. All right. Let's cut that. Get back on here. Oh, I meant to, let me finish this labial bow. Let me make sure it's level. This is a little flared out here. I'm going to try to tuck it in some. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little flared out. So let me do my little ends. I think on the wire bender, I may stop doing this. Just do zigzag. It tends to get too hard to try to get those wires perfectly even like they are here. All right, let me sticky wax this down. Now I can be just slightly off on the labial bow a little bit. There's no, now if I was doing labial acrylic, it's got to be perfect from the start. But if I'm just slightly off, I can fix and post. I guess that's what they say in the industry. I can tighten this up in QC, and it actually makes it easier when there's labial acrylic holding the anchor bends in here. And I'm like, oh, it's stuck in there. And melt it down. So it makes it easier to adjust in QC. Dental things. I have a live stream on TikTok also, and there are so many questions that come through, and there is no way to answer them all and keep working. Anything that keeps you from streaming over there also. Anything that keeps you from streaming over there also. Streaming at TikTok, I just never got into TikTok. I can barely handle this social media I have. So I do have an Instagram for this channel. I have an Instagram for my lab, and then I have a personal Instagram, and then I have a Facebook page for this channel. I have a Facebook page for my lab, and then I have my personal Facebook page. I think TikTok would be overwhelming, but I may make an account because I think I can, using my software. If y'all don't know, I think there's a link below. I use StreamYard for my streaming software, and I can, I'm gonna put a second coat on here while I'm talking. I believe I can stream to TikTok now. I think they've added that feature. So I may do it, but I may need your help, Dental Things. I do like Rumble. I know there's not as many people over there, but I think they do something like what, I think it's Twitch that does it, where it's a raid where you can just send somebody over to another channel. But I would have to get to where, like, you and I would have to, like, stream at the exact same time every single day. So a lot of people teaching over there, so it scratches my teacher itch that I get. Of course, yeah, you're definitely a teacher. I don't know if y'all seen my interview with Dental Things. Check my podcast, my ORG podcast, in my channel, and you can see my interview with Dental Things. I think at that time he was still teaching. I don't think you are now. I think you've opened up your own lab. I can't remember 100%. But that's a good point. I know Steve Czar's over there, and I didn't want to. He's huge, and I didn't want to step on his toes. But if I can just click a button and just live stream this over there. But I don't know if I have to go vertical. You might know this or not. Which live stream I can do vertical with StreamYard. They just launched that too. But I think my stream to YouTube would be vertical too. So I don't know if there's a way of doing both. So yes, I am using a preformed Adams clasp. If the molar is pretty much a normal size, if it's huge, too huge or too small, I really only carry three, I don't know if you can see them, three sizes: 7mm, 8mm, 9mm. This is ball clasp. Oh, fly, you better get away from me. And if they're any size too big or too small from these, then I just bend them by hand. So it's always good to be able to bend an Adams clasp by hand. And many of you may be here because you just watched my wire bend. That is my wire bending of an Adams clasp. That is my number one Adams, what am I trying to say? My number one video on my channel. And it's funny because I don't consider it very good, but it's exactly what people need, from what I've been told. So let me get my other. Fly. Don't you dare. Did you just land on my mic? I keep an electric fly swatter in here, and it is so satisfying. Satisfying to zap these suckers because they get annoying. You start landing on your face on the same spot. Get off of me. I'm about to zap this. I'm about to zap you live on the live stream. And I don't think anybody would be upset. Oh, now you're on the back of my head. You're asking for it. So you can see this. So this is kind of how I do like the wire bending machine. Is it's almost like having preformed Adams clasp, but they're exactly to the measurement. This I can adjust. I have to adjust them in and out just slightly, or use a different size, and then I got to stock different sizes. Whereas the wire bending machine will just make it to the size I need. But also, and I don't know, it might just be for the AOS machine. I remember Paulina telling me that, you know, you could just set a size. Like if I wanted to restock my number 8 Adams clasp or size 8 Adams clasp, I could just print 100 of them on the machine and just stock them that way. So that could save some money there. All right, so we got that one finished, and it goes in here, and then I put them over here. So I already got some from I did Friday, and I'm stacking those. What time is it? 20? All right, we got some time. I think I'm gonna do an Essex. I think it's ready to go. Let me set up my camera over here. I don't know if I've shown an Essex in a while. I'm gonna zoom out just a bit. I'm gonna close these blinds. Okay, let's switch over to that camera. Oop, nope. Oop, yeah. All right, so there's my old school Biostar. Actually, that does need a little bit of time. That's still, let me work on this lower a bit. That is still wet. I don't like to do it when it's wet. Let's go back to, no. Here. Let's just bend this lower one. Or I guess I could sprinkle. Let me turn on my pressure pot. Probably need to clean it out, but depends on how busy my Friday was, I guess. So this is the same thing. You can see it's a little, oh, you can't see nothing. Put it on the right camera. You can see it's a little wet still. I can just tell by the glossiness of it. Kind of used to be able to tell on stone models, you know, if it's got separator. Definitely when you go to put acrylic on it and how you see how the monomer soaks into the model, you're like, oh crap, I didn't put any separator on this. Abort, abort. This one, usually you can tell. You just don't know how many coats it is. I know there's an official, I think they own the patent on 3D separating. It's an official 3D model separator. And I don't know how many coats that takes. I'll have to try that out for y'all. The company did call me. So the company owner that invented that model separator and got a patent on it somehow. More power to them. But it's called Siliform, and maybe y'all know out there, does it take one coat? Or I've heard really good things about it. It does a really good job. But I don't know if it takes one or two coats. Now, I personally am not using model separator. I'm using acrylic to acrylic separator because my resin is methyl methacrylate based. So it's a cousin to my acrylic. So that's why if you don't use a separator on 3D printed models, when we were first introduced to 3D printed models in the lab, that was the number one thing, is the acrylic would fuse to the model. I mean, they would just become one. Okay, I'm not paying attention. All right, get this side done first, Cade, where you want it, and then move to the other side. Don't just flagrantly flop around. Flagrantly? That's not even a word. It is a word. I just misused it. So I'm going to tilt that out. All right. I do need to tighten that up a little bit this way. Then I can go into that fossa and I bend it up a little bit so I can still hold on to it. There we go. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And then I can put some sticky wax in there. Maybe put a little bit more. Shoot, some came down that wire. That's probably okay. I can fill that in with that. It's going to cause a void in the acrylic, but I can probably just fill it in with this stuff. Fix-it powder. I can take the if it's really bad, I'll have to take the whole thing off, and then when you peel this sticky wax off of the separator, we've been talking about separator, it would actually peel off the separator. Separator is barely on there. I mean, it's on there. It's just making a surface, and so it peels off like Elmer's glue on your palm when you're a kid. I don't know why I took that off the model. All right, is my Essex ready? Yeah. That's all right. Now let's switch over there. I don't know if y'all have seen. I can't believe this thing still works, but it works beautifully. My cooler over here is where I keep my disc, and if you know, you got to keep them in a dry thing. So I have a bunch of oxygen moisture absorber packs in here that I get from other packaging that I order, and that helps keep the moisture down. So I'm going to peel off these blue. That's going to keep it nice and clean. Some Essex, this one I do have to peel this off beforehand. Some you don't have to do that. Can you see this down here? I had to add a timer on here, and I got this off of Amazon. I'll put a link to it if y'all have an old machine like this, but it's magnetically stuck to it, and you can set the time by turning the wheel. So I know this is 35, and then you press this button down here, and it starts the timer. So I'm going to do that and start the timer. And then I check here, make sure I have enough pressure. This knob here adjusts the pressure. I think those are in bar. So it's at 4.5 bar right now. And that is heating up in there. This one, the newer ones, after this model, they heat up in like 1 second. This one, you gotta turn on the switch here, and you flip this. So there is. Let me clean that glass. There's the suck down. But what I was saying, it heats up in 1 hour. But I usually let this, oh sorry, my camera's about to fall over. I usually let this heat up for like 5 minutes before I start, just so it gets up to temperature. And then I just let it cool for another 35 seconds. And that alarm will go off like that. And then I wonder if you can see it. It produces like a cloud once I open this up. No, you don't see it. Sometimes it's there. It's pretty cool. It's like an atmospheric pressure release thing. So then open that up, take my ring, and then you know it's a good, you can see how good it is because you can almost not see a difference between the two materials. You can just barely feel it if it's pulled away. Now I do have my Ortho, and I love using it because it's automatic. I do have a video on this if you want to look up Ortho on my channel. I love it that has an articulator, but It's vacuum. This is positive pressure. The air goes in here and then goes into here and then pushes down from the top. And this one just sucks from the bottom. And it does not give me that nice of a adaptation. And then this one built in 1987. So oldies are goodies, right? I think I pushed the right button. Hate that problem with mosquitoes. Yeah, mosquitoes are bad too. Purpose of the 036 on label. I don't know. Now, I've seen wraparounds with the 036, and I could see that because it's a little bit more stiff. If y'all have made a wraparound before, those things are super floppy, and they just go up and down all over the place. I've seen 036. Now, I use 032. That's usually what my doctors ask for, is 032. But 036 on labial bow, that's stiff. That is stiff. And probably stronger. Dental things, burn some coffee and cinnamon and get rid of those mosquitoes. Really? Oh, I don't know if I want burnt coffee smell, but if it gets rid of mosquitoes, it's not. That would smell great. Well, I guess the cinnamon helps. I'll try it. Make the wife come and join me in the lab also. We do have a Keurig here in the lab, and we don't have a coffee maker in the house, so we have to actually walk outside and come in the lab to make our coffee in the morning. All right, so I'm going to, my wife cuts these out, so I was going to put it in there. I got 10 minutes before my hour's up, so let's sprinkle some stuff. And I hate the word sprinkle, you know, but it's just the word I use. I like shoot acrylic. I like that name. Boy, this is not holding up today. It's just wanting to flop over all the time. Let me zoom in a bit. Turn this on. Put up my stuff from Friday. So I got, okay, that goes there. What's my first one? Oh my gosh, tangerine. Very cool, okay. I got tangerine. That's going to be an interesting color to start with. Let's go. Either of you have experience or know about the dome pressure vacuum former attachment? I've seen an interesting alternative to Biofigure. It has this. I've seen that. I haven't seen it lately. I didn't know if it was still a thing where you do the vacuum and then you put the dome on and you compressed air on top of it. I figure that. I mean, you got the best of both worlds there. I have not. Maybe somebody on here has heard of that. Let's go to auxiliary. This has glitter all over it. I'm gonna put that there. Glitters is like herpes in the lab. If you're not careful, it'll infect everything. Let me flip this over, just in case. All right, so let's start with this lower, because it has a labial bow, labial acrylic. Of course it has a labial bow, okay? I bet I could zoom in a bit. This camera's wireless, so hopefully it's not too stuttery for y'all. Yep, look at that. Got a glitter in there. Right there. Get out of there. Usually I put a new piece of paper towel down, and whenever I do glitter, well, I do not like that. That needs to be tucked down some more. All right, let me see if I can fix this with my little pliers here. But I usually use it, especially when I do glitter, is I usually change out the paper towel, but I have got to go to the store and get more paper towels. I tend to go through a lot of paper towels. I tend to go through a lot of paper towels in the lab. But I use them a lot to, you know, do the final dry on the appliance before I pack them up, and I feel like it's more hygienic, I guess is the word, if I use a paper towel instead of like a... Boy, I really overexposed that, didn't I? All right, so this is tangerine. My hands are shaking a bit. I guess that Celsius is kicking in. I did have to do a early morning delivery, like at 5 something this morning. I have a key to one of my doctor's offices, and they just let me go deliver. So I like to go deliver when there's barely any traffic on the road. And while I was out, I had to put gas in the truck, and I had to pick up. So I picked up some coffee while I got gas at a 7-Eleven, and I got they have those new machines that make your cappuccinos and Americanos and all that stuff. And I got a pumpkin apple crisp flavored coffee. I usually don't go for flavored coffee, but I was feeling a little... This color's reminding me of the pumpkin color, so that's why I'm saying this. And I started drinking it, and I'm like, I don't taste the pumpkin, I don't taste the apple, I don't taste the crisp. It tastes just like a cappuccino, and has real light flavors. And I'm glad it wasn't sweet, because I can't handle it when my coffee's too sweet. But I'm usually a black coffee drinking person. Maybe sometimes creamer. Being lactose intolerant, I gotta be careful of how much creamer. If it's raw cream and raw milk, I can handle a lot more of that than I can ultra pasteurized milk from the grocery store. And we have a dairy that's close by that sells raw milk. We get some from there sometimes, which is nice to have. Love living out in the country. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the labial bow. I'm kind of did a little, almost waited too long. It's kind of setting up on me. Probably because I had to adjust that one. I guess if you're a University of Texas fan, you'd like the tangerine. Oh shoot, I just messed that up. Alright, time to repair it. See that slice I did? Notice I have to put these little stone models on here whenever they're really short, mainly for my wallet holder, but it also helps my hand. Some of these smaller models, just my hands cramp up trying to hold on to them. All right, that one's in the pressure pot. This one, the upper one should go a little bit quicker. Okay, camera, will you stop falling over? And you're doing a weird thing with the light. It's probably in the wrong. I got a setting wrong on the camera. And the fly just landed on my face. Alright, putting the name in. Oh, come on. If y'all ever have to put a name in, we use P-Touch labeler with TZ tape. And we found using white with a clear background. Usually we used to use black letters with a clear background. And until we had to like make a black retainer, then you wouldn't be able to see that. So we would switch over to this white with clear, and you could see it in the black. And then we realized, oh, you can see it with every color. Even with white, you can see the white letters, because the white acrylic, by the way, which my wife hates trimming, the white acrylic isn't the same white. One of them's an off-white, either the label or the acrylic. I do like the white and black acrylic from JBC. The black from other manufacturers, it's almost like graphite. It real slides around and stuff. And then the white, it gets real slumpy when it gets wet. So that's my 2 cents. I think I might use the finished one of these for the thumbnail for the recording. I think I do like these. There's so many colors JBC makes. Tangerine, persimmon, which is a little bit more reddish, gold, and then amber, which is more yellowish. So let me cut this. As I've stated before, this cut is very important because this will help you get your retainer off a lot easier. It gives your knife something a ledge to get up under to pull this, separate this from the model. You know, I still make some retainers on stone models, and man, I can't believe we ever complained about separating acrylic off of stone models because it just seems to almost fall off now. You got to take all these precautions. I put wax right here so that my knife can slide up underneath that ledge easier. All right. Put one last little coat to keep it from slumping, because I don't want, after I made that cut, I don't want the acrylic to slump back onto the model, because when I've made that cut, I've pulled off the separator. All right, let's see if I can do this one-handed. You can see all my monomer colors there. I like to give the kids a lot of options. So I'm going to take this one and put it in the water, and put this one on the cup. Something I do from the days of using plaster models. I actually got from my old boss, Jason Brown. There we go. All right. Yep, we are a little over an hour. Like I said, I don't like to bore y'all too long with doing retainers, but in most of your shows, there's a Chevy Chase fall. With this one so far across the... What? I don't want to fall like Chevy Chase. Most of your shows, there's a Chevy Chase full. With this one so far. Oh. I haven't made a big mistake today, I guess. Are you using the wire bender for real work doctors? If not, do you plan to? I do. Now, okay. The Denic Ortho bender, a little inside baseball. Remember, this was the actual unit. Ortho Outlaw, you filmed it in your video. This is the actual unit from the conference. So it's a demo unit. So it doesn't have like the camera to check the angles. And it was using a spool of wire shipped from Europe. Dr. Neal said, hey, don't use that yet. That wire is not FDA approved to use in the US yet. So just to be safe and cautious, I'm not using it for real cases yet. But I do plan on it. Hopefully I'll get my hands on that's the Wire Bender Max. Hopefully I'll get my hands on the Wire Bender S, and that uses straight wire. So the same wire that's in here, straight piece, so it uses that size wire. So you don't have to get the spool, and you can use most any wire most any brand. So I actually shipped some of this JBC wire over to Dr. Neal, and then he's going to help put that in as one of the properties of the wire bender in the software. You just choose like 032 wire from JBC, and it will know how to bend that wire to the most accurately, because every wire from every manufacturer is a little different. So they're doing a lot different wire. Right now I think they're set up for Dentarum wire, so if you already use Dentarum wire, you're set. I actually want to buy a Dentarum wire spool and straightener for this, because with the Dentarum wire you need a straightener because it's going to come out crooked, so it's got to be straight going in or else it throws off everything else. So I do want to get that so I can actually use it on cases, because Dentarum wire you can use in the US. I don't know the brand of this one, I never did ask, but he said it's from, this is designed in Germany, the machine is. But so the wire, I assume, I don't think it's Dentarum wire. If it is, it's a brand I don't know yet, or a type I don't know yet. But I haven't used it on real cases yet, so coming soon, because I'm going to have some really good numbers for y'all. Because I want my son to do 100 appliances, and I want to hand bend 100 of them, and I want to do 100 bent by the wire, and I'm going to put timers to all of it, and then just get a good average of how much time the wire bender can save someone like me, who's the main wire bender in the lab. I did a delivery last night, Sunday 2 a.m., so I could sleep till 7. What we do for the love of the job. I agree. I've done that before. I've left at like 2 or 3 in the morning just so I could sleep in till 7 or 8. But I got done with it early, and so I went to bed at like 9. And so I got a good 7 hours of sleep before I had to get up and go deliver. But you and I, Perry, we're on the same thing. Gotcha. I'll be calling you soon. Keep up the great work. Sounds great. Be good to hear from you. Now, leave a message, because I get a lot of spam calls. So if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer it. And I'm sure a lot of you are like that too. But with that, we're going to end it there. It's been a wonderful time. Let's see. What did we do? Let's recap. We did a upper and lower retainer, which we just did in they're in the pressure pot. So when my wife trims that, I'll take pictures of it and I'll put it on the thumbnail or in the community post. We started bending a lower one but didn't get done. And then we did an Essex. So you can kind of see what my Monday morning's like. I'm just kind of doing as much work as I can before the wife gets back. And I bet she's going to be back pretty quick from the doctor's appointment. And she'll be mad at me if I don't have this stuff ready. So if you don't see me next week, something happened. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, we will end it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next week. Again, I usually try to live stream Sunday afternoons. But if not, maybe I'll start trying to do a Monday morning. Sometimes my Mondays are just absolute craziness. But tends to be a lot of people on here more on Monday mornings. Put a comment below. What would be a perfect time for you to watch a live stream? I'm open to any time. Maybe any time. Depends. But again, my name's Cade. My wife and I own Ortho Lab out in the country. So if you're interested in that, check the links in the description below. I got a wire bending course coming out soon, within weeks. I got one more video to do on that. So if you want to do this as a profession, you're starting from zero, my wire bending course will help you. It's a self-paced from home wire bending course. So that'll help you. So keep an eye out for that. Be sure to subscribe. Check the little bell icon so you get alerted whenever I go live, and we can chat live together. So until then, I will see y'all next week. And happy bending.